enjoy that. It's all pervasive. It is beyond mana, buddhi, chitta, ahankara. That's beyond the five koshas. So the entire creation is made out of the trigunas. Traigunya Vishaya Vedaha Nistraigunya Bhavarjuna Nirdvampo Nitya Sattvastaha Niryogakshema Atmavan. So what we have to do? To go beyond the tamas, rajas and sattva, start with tamas, shatter the tamas, control the rajas, develop the sattva. Go on doing this more and more and more and more. And we have to go beyond the gunas, the main thing. So the entire creation, which is represented by the five koshas, are made out of the three gunas, tamas, rajas and sattva. And therefore, we have to transcend all the koshas. That means beyond all the koshas is the ultimate reality, which Krishna is telling us. Once you start overcoming this thing, what happens? A realized soul, Sthita Prajna. What are the qualities? Arjuna asks, Prajahati yada kaman sarvan partha manogatan atmanyevatmana tushtaha Sthita Prajnasthadochyate. What are the qualities of a realized soul? Sthita Prajna. One is, he is freedom from all desires, from all thoughts. He is able to stay in that silence continuously for any length of time. How long? 1 hour, 2 hours, 5 hours, 1 day, 2 days, 5 days, any length of time. Great Ramana Maharshi completely stayed in that silence for days and weeks and months together. That's the first criteria. Second is completely in tune with self, full of blissful awareness, all the time in that thing. These are the two criteria. Then, easily said than done. How to achieve that? You have to overcome our emotional slavery. So, Krishna gives connection between thinking and emotions. Dhyayato vishayan punsaha sangaste shupajayate sangat sanjayate kamaha kamat krodho bhijayate krodhat bhavati sammohaha sammohat smriti vibhramaha pratibhramshat buddhinashaha buddhinashat pranashyati. The whole sequence starts with repeated thinking. You think of a person, an event, a situation, a particular outside thing, go on thinking about it again. Then an attachment develops. Out of attachment comes raga and dvesha, attractions and repulsion. That leads to greed, anger, infatuation, and you lose the memory and loss of discrimination. This is the whole sequence as to how we deteriorate. So there's an innate connection between thinking and emotions. They are not two distinct things. Normally our understanding is they are totally different. But Krishna says no. Just like earlier we thought matter and energy are two distinct things, we understood later, but matter and energy are same. Matter can be converted into energy, energy can be converted into matter. So here also we thought that thinking and emotion are two different things. You say one is of the heart, another is of the brain. But there's an innate connection. And that is the connection that he has established. So emotions are nothing but speeded up thoughts, powered up thoughts. That's what comes out of this. So to gain control and mastery over the mind, we should gain control and mastery over the emotion. That's the need of the hour. How to do that? रागद्वेषवियुक्तैस्तु विषयानिन्द्रियैश्चरन् आत्मवश्यैर्विधेयात्मा प्रसादमधिगच्छति दुःखेष्वनुद्विग्नमनाः सुखेषु विगतस्पृहः वीतरागभयक्रोधः चितधीर्मुनिरुच्यते. So, what it says is, Vitaraga You must be reducing anger, greed, jealousy, hatred, infatuation. That all should reduce day by day, day by day, day by day, and completely overcome. You should overcome the bondage of all these emotions. And that's the way by which you control over the thoughts, get into silence, stay in that silence, blissful awareness, any length of time. Then he's called as the Chitabdhi, Chitapragna, Jivan Mukta, realized soul. So once this happens, there's going to be increasing bliss that comes. Prasade sarva dukkhanam हानिरस्योपजायते प्रसन्नचेतसो ह्याशो बुद्धिपर्यवतिष्ठते. With the emergence of bliss inside, all our miseries, tensions, stresses, diseases, everything will start vanishing. The intellect start getting established in immense peace inside, blissful awareness, that silence, calmness, peace, tranquility. Then what are the qualities? Yes, sarvatranabhisnehaha tat prapya shubha shubham nabhinandati nadveshti tasya prajna pratisthita. This is the concept of universal love. When your mind is established in that inner silence, blissful awareness, you start loving everybody. It's the unattached love. This is what Swami Vivekananda heralded in the Parliament of Religions in Chicago. So we should all, in the name of religion, work together to bring peace, harmony, love, affection everywhere. In fact, we are all really brothers and sisters because our original state is the same. From that pure consciousness, Moksha Sthiti, we are all born. The whole creation is born. Therefore, we are all products of that thing. Therefore, there is a basic thing that we should all love one another and maintain that brotherhood so that we'll be able to bring this. This is a great development of Radha's love, which is state and others. So from there, you start going to the higher layers of subtle mind. Yanisha sarva bhutanam tasyam jagarti sayyami yasyam jagrati bhutani sanisha pashyato mune. This is the most difficult shloka. What it says, one who sees night in day and one who says day in night is the wise man. How can anyone find day in night and night in day? This is where we have to understand the subtle things that are involved. The higher secrets of life are enshrined in these paradoxical statements. In Karma Yoga it said, Karmani akarmaya pashet, akarmani cha karmayaha. Here, Yanisha sarvabhutanam tasyam jagarti. Yasyam jagrati bhutani sanisha pashyatva mune, said. So we must understand what Krishna means by saying day and night. What's our day? During the day, we all have activity of the mind. What is night? Mind is not acting. So the mind is silent. So Krishna is meaning by this thing to see the day in the night and night in the day. First is to see the night in the day. What it means? Night is silence of the mind. Day is activity of the mind. So in the activity of the mind, you must see the silence. That is the gnani. Silence of mind while awake, activity of the mind. So a question comes. If mind is silent, how can we do any activity? How can a gnani work? Has he or she become stone-like, sitting silent? Can he work? For doing the work, you must have activity of the mind. This is the question that comes. So it's here the new secret is being brought forth. You know, we must all recognize two layers of the mind: the outer layer of the mind, inner layer of the mind. When you are all hearing this thing, your outer layer of the mind is working. But somewhere inside, the deeper layer of the mind, there is something else happening. You are thinking of something else. That now, 29th, our course shall be over, then we'll be going back. How do we go back? And today, I do not know what breakfast you get. I don't know what has happened to my mother who was admitted to a hospital. Inner layer of the mind, activity going on. Outside activity, inside also activity. So what is meant here is inner layer of the mind will be kept in silence, calmness, peace, tranquility, blissful awareness. Outside you do any activity. This is the new way of working, a new way of doing the activity, very highly developed activity phase. This is karma yoga. To convert every action, every karma into a yoga. Yogastaha kuru karmani, as it said. How? By inside all the time being aware of it. That's the secret that Krishna gives. Outside layer of the mind, there can be a lot of activities going on. Inside, there is completely silence, calmness, peace, blissful awareness. Dual mode operation, I call. Karma yoga is dual mode operation. So a dancing girl with a pot on the head. What's happening? One layer of her mind, inner layer of the mind, all the time, be very, very careful not to lose the balance. You know. Outside, she is hearing the music and dancing beautifully. You know. So this is action going on, but inside awareness. So when we are doing all activities, we should have that inner awareness, inner calm, inner peace. A master driver, he may be driving with all complicated streets and rush and jam and everything. But inside his mind always is calmness, peace. He has the direction. I have to go this way. He will not get lost. An actor acting in a drama, he may be acting very effectively, but inside he knows I am acting. He may be acting like Ravana, but he knows I am not Ravana, I am Krishna, his name. So he may be acting as Radha, but you know that you are your own particular name. So there are two layers of the mind, the inner awareness and outside thing. This action in awareness, action in peace, action in relaxation, action in blissful awareness is the key essence. So this is seeing silence in activity. That is to see night in the day. Then we talked about the second aspect, seeing action in non-action. To see day in the night. Your mind has become silent, inner peace, inner calm. Outside, you're sitting quietly. You're doing meditation, your mind has become very calm, quiet, silent. Many people think that yes, we have reached the highest. No. Even you may get a glimpse of samadhi, then you think that you have reached the end. No. Krishna says there is a lot of activity going on, even in the so-called silent of the mind. In that state of peace, in that state of silence, there is activity. In sleep, not dream state. In dream state, activity is there. In dreamless sleep, the mind is not working. But don't think that you have reached moksha. Don't think that you have reached kaivalya. Don't think that the mind has reached total silence. There is a lot of activity going on inside. What activity going on? Your mind is not knowing. Your mind is a state of unconsciousness. But today we have technology to know that your brain is functioning. This state, the dreamless sleep, is called non-REM sleep, NREM sleep. So if the mind is silent, the brain should be not acting. But in NREM sleep, you have a lot of activity going on. The brain will show activity going on. Therefore, Krishna is telling that when you are asleep, when you are in a state of samadhi, when you are in a state of silence, there is still activity going on. In the normal or physical world, we know this table is here, this chair is here. It all are not moving. There is no activity, we think. But ask a scientist, what is this made out of? Molecules. There are trillions of molecules that are swirling around inside in this table or in this chair. In atoms, there are electrons, protons, neutrons, electrons swirling around at tremendous speed. If you take any object, millions and trillions of molecules are all whirling around with tremendous speed. Similarly, in sleep, there is activity going on. This is what we have to recognize. So, in this state of silence or non-action, there is action going on. So all our personality traits are still getting operated in this state. So this is the complete region of non-action or silence or night. This is night, this is day. So in this, there is action going on. Without our knowledge, it goes on. So how these actions are being governed by our personality traits. Tamas, Rajas and Sattva are all hidden in the state of inner silence. They are stored in the form of a memory stored. Therefore, Patanjali, in describing the various stages of mind, he says, Pramana, Viparaya, Vikalpa, Nidra, Smrutayaha. Smriti, the entire region here, there is no activity of the mind, but there is action going on in the form of memory stores. Memory is stored in various forms here. Obsessions, phobias, granthis, and others. In a river or in an ocean, when you go deep, there could be bills, there could be tornadoes. Inside the ocean can be going on activity. Outside it looks silent. There's a complete new world, underwater world, you see. So this is what one have to recognize. So in Mandukya Karika it is said, Sakashayam Vijaniyat. When you go deeper and deeper to silence, don't think you have become silent. There is Kashaya, imbalances, their memory stores. That all has to be cleansed. So today's topic is erasing the Prarabdha and Sanchita Karmas. In the so-called state of non-action, there is action going on. Therefore, in the state of non-action, that is night, when there is no activity, it could be unconscious, it could be different thing. It's not a single state. There are several stages based on the samskaras. That is called the Avyakta phase. Mind, there are two stages. One is the Vyakta, another is the Avyakta. Vyakta is the state of manifestation. When I am talking outside, Vyakta phase is going on. When you are thinking, when you are doing the activity, you are all in the state of manifest state, Vyakta. But when the mind is sleeping, it is in the phase of Avyakta. Similarly, when the mind is in Samadhi and higher levels of Samadhi, it's all Avyakta phase. Avyakta could be in different phases. So we may call it as layers of silence. For example, a person goes into coma, got a good hit, he has gone into the state of coma. Mind is not working there. Then the serpents, they go into hibernation. Similarly, a person may go into hibernation. They're all states of Avyakta. Mind is not working. We are unconscious. We are in coma. We are in hibernation. When the surgeons want to do surgery, what do they do? Anesthesia. Anesthetic unconsciousness. Or you may have an epilepsy, you have an epileptic attack. Mind inside is there, but hands are pushing down. Petit mode. Some people are drunk, alcoholic, unconscious. In all these things, mind has gone into that so-called silence. Mind has gone into that night. Deep sleep with no dreams. Similarly, the Samadhi, that's also called Jada Samadhi. Or a hypnotizer will come and hypnotize you. Your mind is under control. Drug-induced silence. These are all Avyakta phase. Non-active phase of the mind. That's the night. Silence. Then we have various types of Samadhi, superconscious state. or samadhi states. Patanjali talks about dharana, dhyana, samadhi. Many people think when I get to samadhi, I have reached the highest. No. After samadhi, Patanjali talks about various types of samadhi. 8 types of samadhi. They're all deeper and deeper, deeper. Savitarka, nirvitarka. Savichara, nirvichara. Sampragnata, asampragnata. Vitarka, vichara, ananda, asmita, anugama, sampragnata, tadanyah, sampragnata. 8 types of samadhi he talks about. In all these things are in the seed form. Mind is in the seed form. So when you erase all these things, then you reach the highest, that's the kaivalya, that's the moksha. Only in the moksha, the highest kaivalya, you have got infinite power, infinite knowledge, infinite freedom, infinite bliss. That's our original state. Until that, you are limited. You are in various koshas that coming. Moksha is the merger. Now the question is, what is this karma siddhanta? How do we store all this? How they get into our memory store? It's based on the equation, third law of Newton. Action and reaction are equal and opposite. Whatever action you do, there's a reaction. The two things are equal. You do a good action, you get a good memory store. You do a bad action, you get a bad memory store. You do a tamasic action, you get a tamasic memory store. You have already understood what is tamas. No? What is it? Remember, laziness, drowsiness, sleepiness, lethargy, ignorance. Then you do a rajasic action. You got a rajasic karma. A memory state of rajasic action. What are the gross rajasic actions? Anger, greed, jealousy, hatred, infatuation. You do actions like this, you have the store. Then you do sattvic action. Dana, daya, dama. Helping others, serving others, giving, compassion, less and less selfishness. All those will get stored as sattvic karma. Depending on what action you do, tamas, rajas, sattva, you get those memory stores. This is the law. So, we have the present action and past action and the future action. No? So, we all do the karma. How we do the karma? No? It depends on our personality trait. When we are all born, we have certain quantum of tamas, rajas, sattva. I requested all of you to find out how much of tamas, rajas, sattva you have. How many of you have got it now? Where the personality inventory, you fill it up, you get. Please take from your coordinator. And you fill it up 10 minutes. You can know how much of tamas, how much of rajas, how much sattva you have. Based on that, we all do our activities. If I am tamas predominant, I tamas activity. Rajas predominant, rajas activity. Sattva predominant, sattvic activity. So when we do these activities, these are all get stored. This storage is called as the Sanchita karma. All memories of all our past lives. Everything is stored in our memory. Manomaya Kosha, Vijnananandamaya Kosha contain this entire memory store. That's called Sanchita Karma. When we are born, some portion of that Sanchita Karma comes up. That's called the Prarabdha Karma. Those memory stores which are very, very, prevalent, very, very strong, those things come up in our present life. So, we are all born with our samskaras or imprints to begin with. So, we are tamas, rajas, sattva. This is our samskaras, imprints, our tendencies. So, we are born in an atmosphere. We are born with certain hereditary qualities, we say. And depending on where you are born, it has an influence. For example, you may have asthmatic tendency. You are likely to become asthma. So you are born in a family where things are very bad, full of dust, full of all types of habits, drinking, cutting, and shouting each other, tamasic and rajasic atmosphere, always mother, father are fighting, children also fighting, and habits are all very bad. You sleep very late, get up very late, all types of things happening. Supposing you are born in that, your asthma will sprout up. Atmosphere has a great influence in our life. On the other hand, if the atmosphere is very good, parents are very loving, very affectionate, they give you healthy food and take care of you fully, and a clean atmosphere, your asthma may not show up. So atmosphere has an influence. So we are born with a tendency. The atmosphere has an influence. But apart from that, we have a freedom. We are all having that freedom. If we use our freedom, we can change. So a lot of our asthma patients whom we have trained, your atmosphere may be bad. You cannot change that because your parents have this thing, houses are bad and a lot of pollution. You cannot change all these things. Your born tendencies, you cannot change because already you're born with that. What is in your hand? Your freedom. Every day you come out in the morning, get up early in the morning, come and do yoga practices, breathing practices, and control your anger, greed, jealousy, hatred, everything. And we have given the module. Lifestyle change can be done, we have the freedom. This is what in our hands. Other two is not in our hands. Therefore, based on these three factors, you do a particular action. That's the present action. So that present action is the one that goes back and it influences your past action. Earlier, your tamas is very strong, but here you are doing these actions to reduce your tamas. So your tamas in the storehouse will get reduced. So this present action is called the agami karma, will influence the prarabdha karma, sanchita karma and change that. Therefore, when you are born next time, the samskaras will be changed. Let's say in our past thing, you got 30% tamas, 30% rajas, 40% sattva. So in this life, we bring a lot of sattva activities, more and more. That sattva will go back and change our sattva from 40% to 70%. No? Tamas should be reduced to 15%. Rajas should be reduced to 15%. So we are having in our life this freedom to change. Agami karma is going to bring the changes in the Sanchita karma. So when you are born next time, you are born with more of sattva. So that 70% is going to come to your next life. In this life, you are born with 30, 30, 40. In the next life, it comes to 15, 15, 70. This is how the whole system goes on. There's a cyclicity of this thing that comes up. You know. So this is all stored in the form of smriti. This is what Patanjali has said. Nidra smrutayaha. Deep sleep and smriti. Smriti is the source of all this objekta. Then a little more clarity about Sanchita karma and Prarabdha karma. Sanchita karma refers to the sum total of an individual past action stored as memory and their consequences accumulated over countless lifetimes. All the karmas which are stored over several lifetimes, hundreds of lifetimes, is all stored in the memory store. Just like in a computer, we are accumulated, lot of softwares. All these things are accumulated. You are building newer softwares, improving the software. Everything goes into the computer. Computer memory has huge thing. So huge memory in the computer. Similarly, the brain is having that memory stored. Similarly, in the Manomaya Kosha, Vijnana Anandamaya Kosha, all these things are stored. That's called Sanchita karma. And depending on which is more predominant, tamas, rajas, sattva, they are stored as phobias, obsessions, fears, anger, greed, jealousy, all these things are stored in its own thing. You're a very angry person. Small things you get angry. Why? It's all stored there. Your storage of anger is tremendous there, sitting. So when you are born, you get this thing. So all your karmas are all stored there. They are called as granthis, phobias, obsessions, blocks, knots. So these are the manifestations of memory stores in that Sanchita karma. So they're all accumulated over countless lifetimes. This is the total store. Prarabdha karma represents that portion of Sanchita karma that manifests in this current life. You got Sanchita karma of, let's say, 100 units. 10 predominant thing is going to come up in this life. 10%. Remaining 90% are still there. So when you are born, you have this 10% thing that comes. Sanchita karma encompasses all actions that have yet to bear fruit. They're all there. But in this life, only 10% has come. The remaining things are there to come in future lives. It's akin to a reservoir of deeds waiting to unfold, shaping the course of future incarnation. Once you cleanse this, then other thing is going to come out. So understanding Sanchita karma underscores the cyclic nature of existence and emphasizes personal responsibility and the law of cause and effect. Cause, what you are doing, action. Effect, karma. So I must understand this entire Sanchita karma and the Prarabdha karma that is coming up in this life. So using our freedom, we can go on cleansing, shattering the tamas, controlling the rajas, developing the sattva. Prarabdha karma specifically influences the events and circumstances unfolding in one's current life. So when we are born, it's the Prarabdha karma that comes. Prarabdha karma comes as hereditary traits or personality traits. It comes as heredity. For example, I may have born with a diabetic tendency. Father has diabetes, therefore I also inherit diabetes. Mother had diabetes, I inherit diabetes from mother. Both of them have diabetes. So I'm likely to get diabetes 90%. Only mother, maybe 50%. Only father, maybe 50%. Depending on their severity, my changes here. This we call as the heredity. In our modern technology, modern medical science, we are all born with heredity. Yoga takes us one step further. How this heredity comes? It comes from the manifestation of your prarabdha. What all we have done in the past shows up as prarabdha. There are some children, even at the age of 3, 4, 5, they sing beautifully. They know the ragas, talas, everything. They are experts, musical prodigies. Balamurali Krishna, many other such personalities. How that comes, you know? Your father and mother may not be musicians, but how you get that from your past life. In the past life, you are a music expert, and that has stored in our memory store as the Sanchita karma. That is the one that shows up as Prarabdha karma, and you are a musical prodigy. Ramanujam was a mathematical prodigy. So this happened from his Prarabdha karma. Prarabdha karma need not be bad. Prarabdha karma is the manifestation of the main memory stores which shows up in our present life. It can be good, it can be bad. It could be tamasic, it could be rajasic, it could be sattvic. You know. It could be bad actions, it can be good action. You know. So many people think Prarabdha karma means bad. No. Prarabdha karma can be good. That Prarabdha karma is the one that manifests in this life and shows up as hereditary tendencies. This is what we have to understand. Then our people went into deeper thing. How to diagnose this, Prarabdha karmas, how they manifest here. So they connected that to astrology, Jyotisha. In the context of a horoscope, the positions of the celestial bodies at the time of birth are believed to reflect this karmic blueprint, influencing individual experiences and destinies. So the Prarabdha karma manifests in the present life and it is shown in your horoscope. Astrological predictions. Jyotish Shastra is a highly developed science in our things. They say we have got the various grahas. We have got the sun, the moon, the Jupiter, and all these Navagrahas, Rahu, Ketu, everything. So in our life, if you write a horoscope, you will know where these grahas are placed. If you know our date of birth, place of birth, time of birth, we can put up that horoscope. Today there are softwares. Number of softwares are there. We have some of the best softwares, we tell you. So your position of these different grahas, Navagrahas, as they are called, they are placed in different times, and that is the one that is responsible to show that. This is a diagnostic tool. Looking at this, you'll be able to diagnose. You might not have got the cancer or diabetes now, but looking at the horoscope, people can say, yes, you're likely to get. We had a great astronomer, astrologer, a number of top astrologers were in touch. This astrologer also did PhD in astrology, compiling a lot of data, published papers. He was telling him an example. A girl at the age of 14 came to him and he looked at this horoscope and said, look here, according to the predictions of astrology, at the age of 21, you are likely to get breast cancer. It's going to be very severe. Immediately you have to go for surgery. But what does the astrology tell you? If you do particular pariharas, some graha shantis, then probably the severity is going to reduce and you may not go for immediate surgery. But what she said, no, I don't believe in all that. Today astrology is not a science. Astrology is a mumbo jumbo. No scientist will believe that astrology is a science. So she belongs to that category. Very brilliant girl, good scientist. I don't believe on these things. But exactly at the age of 21, she got severe breast cancer, which she has to go for surgery. He was telling me that he has 100 cases. He compiled about 26 cases and prepared his PhD thesis. This is the one that we are now trying to, do research here in this Shruti Mandir. So this entire Jyotish Shastra, everything was developed by a very great seer. It's called Varaha Mihira. That's why Patanjali brought 3. Yogena Chittasya, Padena Vacham, Varam Sharirasya. Ayurveda, grammar and yoga. 3 great contributions of Patanjali. Similarly, Varaha Mihira, he developed 3 main things. Astrology, astronomy, mathematics. He wrote huge volumes, ocean of knowledge, mind-boggling. So we have named this entire project as Varaha Mihira Advanced Center for Vedic Technology Research. We want to unravel that. So we have got this entire diagnosis, hereditary, which comes from the father and mother, which is our understanding in allopathy, medical science, has to be taken to deeper levels. That is through the Prarabdha Karma. How the Prarabdha Karma can be tracked by horoscope, by astrology. Astrology doesn't say that it is going to happen. It's the science of probability. Just like the quantum mechanics is what is the difference between classical mechanics and quantum mechanics? In classical mechanics, everything is determined. There is no ambiguity. If I leave an object, it's bound to come down 32 feet in 1 second. If I launch a rocket to the moon, you can trace the entire trajectory accurately, every millionth of a second, mathematically accurate. Everything is determined. But when you go to very high speed, electrons swirling around the nucleus, when you go to extremely small particles, then Newtonian mechanics will not hold, classical mechanics will not hold. If I leave an electron here, it can go top, bottom, front, back, right, left. In fact, an electron develops like a globe. You cannot say where will be the electron after 1 second. It may be here, it may be here, it may be there, it may be there. Determinacy collapses. We can only tell probability to find the electron here is 1%. Probability of finding the electron here is 0.1%. Probability of finding in Mangala Mandir is 0.001%. Probably can be calculated. Similarly, astrology tells that you are likely to get diabetes. How much percentage? 30% you are likely to get diabetes. 40% you are likely to get. 90% you are likely to get diabetes, depending on this thing. Science of probability. That's the usefulness of astrology. So what is to be done? By various yoga practices you can change. By various yagnas you can change. Various pujas, havanas, you can change. So we all have the freedom to change ourselves. So this is the karmic blueprint which influences individual experiences and destiny. So what yoga says is you must completely erase. Thus, the alignment of Prarabdha Karma with astrological configurations suggests a nuanced interplay between cosmic forces and personal actions, shaping the trajectory of life's journey as interpreted through the lens of astrology. That's the grandeur of astrology. So there's an innate connection between the cosmic forces and the personal Prarabdha Karma. So depending on the particular event, particular day, particular time, it influences. For example, in full moon day, people who have got mental problem, they all get aggravated. Psychic patients, full moon day, they all get tremendously excited, aggravated. Similarly, asthmatics, during the rainy season, during the cloudy weather, they start getting asthma increased. So the external situations aggravate the situation. This is very well known. Therefore, depending on the position of these different grahas, the astrological configurations, they suggest the interplay between the cosmic forces and the personal actions. These external things bring an influence in our life. Whenever tamas will be predominant, whenever rajas will be predominant, whenever sattva is predominant, night, day, different parts of the day, during that period you must be careful. When in the night, when your thing is very predominant tamas, you must use your freedom to change. We all have that freedom. That's what characters human beings. So using that freedom, we have to go on erasing all this Prarabdha Karma, Sanchita Karma, we must remove, erase. This is what Krishna says. Akarmani karmaya pashed. So he should understand that in the so-called night, there is activity going on. There is all the karmas which are stored. This all had to be erased. How to erase? Using our freedom. It's the way. Stimulate, relax, stimulate, relax, stimulate, relax, stimulate, relax. This is how we'll be able to cleanse our system. That is cyclic meditation that has been developed. With that, we close today's session and take to our next thing in the next Saturday. So many people may have questions, but today we have very less time. Therefore, please send your questions.
Guruji, I have one question.
Next week.
Guruji, I have one question.
Yeah, please.
I'm Nick Shroff from Dallas, and I loved your talk very much, especially the part where you talked about the concept of universal love. You know, you mentioned this even last time about this universal love. So my question is that what is the gateway to this connectedness? So we talk about the embodiment of the spirit of Vasudeva Kutumbakam. So is it through meditation or through inner tranquility or unconditional love or inner peace? Or what is the way to do it?
Can you put it on the chat box? I will just throw by the time. There's one more question by Judo, very interesting. Will a person who stays in inner awareness all the time, not getting unconsciously identified with the body and mind, will the influence of Prarabdha Karma become weak? Because it is the presence of the mind which allows the Prarabdha to act, astrological influence to act. If there is no mind, then no influence of Prarabdha. Can we conclude so? Yes. That when a person stays in that inner awareness, it's also not a single state. Inner awareness can be full of tension with focus. In focusing, there is actually the tension or the stress or the effort involved. So that should become effortless. Prayatna Chaitanya should occur. So once you have that inner awareness of calmness, peace, a blissful awareness, then the influence to remove the prarabdha karma is very strong. And there can be astrological influences that also can be reduced. It's an interplay of the external influences and our own freedom. How much of our freedom we use to erase these things is an important thing. Therefore, you are saying it that right, that when you maintain that inner awareness, inner calm, inner peace, then certainly it's going to have an influence over prarabdha karma and also the external influences which are told.